Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of A Chef's Heritage. This is my mother, and today we're going to be making her famous Pavlova.
So we're going to be making my world famous Pavlova. Everyone from around the world knows this Pavlova. Very simple, very easy, but a spectacular dessert for the holidays. So first we're going to separate the egg yolks from the egg whites. The trick for a good Pavlova or any meringue is to make sure that there is no shell or any bit of yolk in there. If yolk gets into the egg whites, it'll separate, it'll deflate. So you're just gonna crack the eggs, separate the yolks, and if any little bits get into the egg whites, you want to get rid of this big booger. You don't want that, nobody wants that. If you get any bits that get in there, you take the shell and you go in and scoop it out. So if you get a bit of shell or a little bit of not so nice looking egg, it'll act a bit like a magnet, and then you can just scoop it in. So it's a little chef's trick there. So we're gonna do 6 of these. So what you're gonna do is separate the whites from the yolks. Now save the yolks and you can freeze them, because it would actually make a really nice lemon curd. You could make a separate lemon curd and put it on the Pavlova, which would be delicious for Easter. So not a hard thing to make, but if you're not gonna make something like that, just go ahead and freeze them so you don't waste anything. So, and that is 6. We're ready for the next step. So our whites are all separated. We've got our yolks here that we're gonna toss into the freezer. And it's a very simple recipe. So it's 6 egg whites. We've got 1 3/4 cup of sugar, granulated sugar. We've got cornstarch, lemon juice, and vanilla. We're gonna mix these 3 things together. So make sure you've got all your ingredients beforehand so you're not running out to the store midway through whipping a meringue, because that would be a disaster. So we're gonna do 3 teaspoons, except I've only got a ½ teaspoon thing here. So 3, is this math that you're doing? Is this a math class?
This isn't good. It'd be like 6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Make sure you always spoon and level, but I've been doing this for a while, so. That's the cornstarch. 1½ teaspoons of vanilla. Use the good vanilla. Don't use the imitation stuff. It would be really good too, some vanilla paste. 1, 2, 3, 1½ teaspoons of lemon juice. You don't have to get fancy and squeeze your own. You can, but I think it would be too pulpy. Whoops. We'll count that as 1, 2, generous, 3. I'm gonna mix this up and then we're on to the next step. Okay, Harry, you're up. So the oven is preheated to 300. We've got a parchment paper, big cookie sheet over here, with parchment paper laid down. It's got to be parchment. Some people put a little sprinkle of cornstarch down on top of the parchment so that the meringue doesn't stick. So you've got your mixing bowl, which is dry and clean because you can't have anything or the meringue will separate. And you're going to toss in your egg whites. Put the whole thing in there. All right, and now you're gonna whip it until it's stiff and dry. That'll probably be about 4 minutes, I would say, on about medium, about 4, maybe 6. There you go. That's looking stiff and dry.
Yeah.
Perfect. Excuse the 1970s kitchen. That's what makes the Pavlova that much better, I think. Okay, so now we're going to add, you've got 1 3/4 cup of sugar already spooned out. You're gonna put the mixer on low and 1 tablespoon at a time Yeah, low. 1 tablespoon at a time, you're gonna add the sugar. It doesn't have to be exactly a tablespoon. Like you're not, it's already pre-measured out. Take care not to hit the beater. Because if you chuck it all in at the same time, it's not going to distribute evenly. And you don't want to knock the air out of the meringue. So you're a little too fast, just a little. It needs to incorporate, and then you can add. You want to keep that nice fluffy air in there. Okay. Go ahead. Perfect. Okay, so this is perfect. This is thick and glossy now. That took a couple minutes. Make sure you scrape down the sides of your bowl too, so that you get any sugar that's stuck along the way. See, look at that. That's perfect. Now we're gonna add our little slurry of cornstarch, vanilla, and lemon juice. And now the important part is that you don't knock the air out of this lovely fluffy meringue. So get every last little bit of goodness here, and you're gonna fold it in. It's just from the sides. I'm gonna pop half here. I'm gonna fold this in here. Oh, that's telemarketers wanting to clean our air ducts. Yep. Okay. So make sure when you use a KitchenAid stand mixer bowl, you get down to the bottom. You can make these individual pavlovas too. You don't have to do a big one. Okay. Move these ingredients here. Now, some people do a big circle and they measure it out. I don't do that. Plop it in the middle, like so. So you can make this up to a day ahead of time. It's traditionally from Australia, Pavlova, Australia, New Zealand. And some people put their Pavlova in their ovens overnight. I've never done that.
Seems kind of like a bad idea.
Well, you don't leave the oven on though. You bake it.
Okay,
And then
yeah, okay, yeah.
I should
yeah,
clarify.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And then this is where you get to have fun. So this is going to go in the 300 oven. Some people do fancy swirly bits here. I think I'm going to spread mine out a bit more. Houston, the dog, would like some pavlova. Because this in here is going to set all the fruit and everything tomorrow. See how I'm just sort of making like a, there we go, look at that beauty. So let's get some bits on the side. Don't worry about the little sticky bits beside. That's all right. Smells like marshmallow. Okay, there she is, ready to go in.
Okay.
So here is the pavlova. This is an hour at a 300-degree oven. I turned the oven off and kept the pavlova in and let the door open a crack and let it sit for another half an hour. You can see it's gone a little cracked and everything. Totally normal, totally okay, because we're going to fill it with whipped cream and some fruit and everything. So, and the other thing I should mention is never make a meringue on a rainy day. It doesn't work out. So let's go fill this up with some whipped cream and fruit.
And here's my mom's famous pavlova. Thank you for watching, and be sure to subscribe and like this video.